I want you to imagine, just for a second, that you are waiting at a bus stop. Picture the scene.
Right.
What are you actually doing in that moment? Are you staring intently at your phone?
Yeah.
Maybe scrolling through a feed you've already seen like 3 times?
Probably. Or maybe you're awkwardly avoiding eye contact with the person standing literally 2 feet away from you.
Exactly.
Mm.
Or, and this is a wild card,
Mm.
are you throwing caution to the wind and striking up a conversation about how unbelievably cold it is today?
You know, you might think you're just bored in that moment, or maybe just a little tired, but in reality, you are engaging in a highly complex, silent psychological war with everyone around you.
A silent war.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
this space where we are constantly, invisibly negotiating our personal boundaries in public.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking a fascinating look into the hidden social universe of public transportation. We are on a mission to decode the unwritten rules of how we behave in transit.
Because it is weird, right?
It is so weird. Like, why do we act so strangely when we are placed in a metal tube with 50 strangers? We're going to be pulling from a wide variety of sources today to figure this out.
We have a great stack today. We've got sociologists who study urban behavior, language guides, and even the personal diary of an artist who spent months doing nothing but observing passengers on a city bus.
Which is incredible, because usually the commute is treated as dead time.
Right.
Just a void between point A and point B.
Oh, totally. But a bus or a train is actually a remarkably rich microcosm of human behavior. I mean, it forces us to confront how we manage intimacy and vulnerability and social hierarchy, really, when physical escape is entirely impossible.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because before we get into how people desperately try to avoid each other, we first need to look at the highly choreographed way we actually do interact in these spaces.
Right, the rules of engagement.
Yeah, I like to think of bus stop small talk as a verbal waiting room. It's this heavily scripted dance where everyone supposedly knows the steps and nobody wants to risk stepping on toes.
We can see this really clearly if we look at how non-native speakers are taught to navigate these spaces. Our sources include English language conversation guides from platforms like Mr.English and Easy English.
Oh, right.
And they essentially provide a blueprint for this verbal waiting room. They map out the universal safe zones, and the undisputed champion of these safe zones is, of course, the weather.
Oh, for sure. There is nothing safer than saying, man, it's freezing out here. It is the ultimate shield.
It really is.
But the sources highlight a close second, which I think is actually a much more powerful bonding tool, the shared suffering of a late bus.
Oh, complaining about a delayed bus is magic. It establishes this immediate low-stakes alliance. You know, you're forming a temporary micro-community united against a common enemy.
The transit authority.
Exactly, the transit authority. There's a conversational scenario in the sources that perfectly illustrates this, featuring 2 hypothetical strangers, Michael and Anna.
I loved this part.
Right. So they start off just commiserating about the bus taking forever. And Anna makes this joke that she's no longer waiting for the bus, she's waiting for destiny.
Destiny, which is, slightly cheesy.
It's very cheesy, but it works. Because from that tiny safe zone of shared frustration, they manage to branch out. They start talking about Michael's love for photography, and then suddenly they're sharing their deep mutual desires to travel.
Yeah, Michael wants to see the cherry blossoms in Japan. And Anna wants to go to New Zealand for what she beautifully calls, and I'm quoting here, nature's quiet hug.
Nature's quiet hug. I mean, notice the progression there. They move from the strictly mundane to the mildly personal, but they stay firmly within acceptable boundaries.
Right, they're sharing aspirations, not like intimate vulnerabilities.
Exactly. Now, contrast that successful interaction with the strict rules outlined in another source, the English Club Guide. They detail the absolute bus stop faux pas.
The things you never, ever do.
Right. Like, you never bring up politics. If someone mentions they're heading downtown, you do not ask who they're voting for in the mayoral election.
Oh my gosh, I would probably physically step backward if someone asked me that at a bus stop.
I think we all would. The guide also emphasizes that you never discuss salaries or personal wealth. They give an example of a guy complimenting a stranger's diamond watch by saying, "Hey, I'm sure you make good money."
Yikes. That is an instant catastrophic conversation killer.
It really is. The etiquette vocabulary they teach, letting elderly people go ahead, managing yourself when it's crowded, giving a nod to the regulars, it's entirely built around maintaining harmony and neutralizing threats.
That makes me think about the cognitive mechanics of this, though. Like, Why do our brains accept bonding over a late bus, but go into complete fight or flight mode if someone asks about our salary or politics? We're standing next to the same person in the exact same physical space.
Right. And what's fascinating here is that it comes down to the difference between a shared reality and a private boundary.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Well, when you complain about the weather or the late bus, you are pointing at a reality that is happening to both of you equally. It's external, and that acts as a social lubricant because it requires zero vulnerability.
That makes sense. We're both freezing.
Exactly. But the moment someone asks about your salary or your political leanings, they have aggressively breached your private sphere in a public space like a bus stop where you can't just walk into another room to escape.
Right, you're trapped.
You are trapped. So protecting that psychological private sphere becomes your brain's absolute top priority.
Wow. So we really need those safe scripts just to function without having a panic attack.
Pretty much, yeah.
But, I mean, let's move beyond the moments when we are willing to talk. Because, let's be honest, a lot of the time, we want to completely avoid the people around us.
Most of the time, probably.
Yeah. When I get on a crowd